good to do.
Good morning. My name is Dennis Plant. That's D-E-N-N-I-S, P-L-A-N-T-E, and I am the fire chief for the town of Berwick. I'd just like to take a few minutes this morning. As you saw, we just spent 1 minute acknowledging the death of Captain Barnes in memory of his service to this department. But I'd like to give you a little history and background on Captain Barnes. Joel was hired in 2016 as a full-time firefighter paramedic. At the time he was hired, he came on board and he volunteered to take over the department's training program as well as assist the town and the department in establishing an emergency medical service organization, which we were previously, but we were working toward the goal of improving that service. And he was an initial part of putting that program together for the department. Joe was also involved in a lot of the fire prevention activity the town of Berwick sponsored, along with Captain Dorian. The kids loved him. He loved dealing with the public. Spent a lot of time in doing fire prevention in the schools. He was just an overall good person, and I'm truly going to miss Joe. Joe was involved since he's been with the department in a number of calls, emergency calls. One most recently, Joe had nominated police officers for the actions they took during a medical aid call where an individual actually severed a part of the body, and fortunately because of Joel and the police officers' efforts, they were able to repair that injury. With that, I would like to introduce Captain Doran, who is kind of Joel's counterpart and has worked for right along hands with Joel since Joel's beginning with this department.
My name is Captain Travis Dwyer, Travis Doiron. Like Chief said, I am, Joel was kind of my right-hand man. Him and I worked very well together on a lot of the tasks that were involved in this department. One of the big things that Joel helped out with was with the fire prevention and the efforts that he did during our efforts with the preschools in town. So he was greatly appreciated in that aspect. The kids loved him in that aspect. One of his big tasks was our training coordinator. He did a lot of the training of our new firefighters and a lot of our driver operator training for our members. He was one very laid back and easygoing kind of guy. He'd make sure he'd be into work on time and be ready to go, and liked to pay attention to details. Probably one of the biggest details that he always paid attention to was making sure that there was no water spots on our trucks after we rinsed them off. He was involved in planning on our new station. He had some great ideas that he brought to the table from past experiences and past departments that he was a part of. That new station, I'm assuming, when we get through the finalized process, will have a piece of Joel's legacy attached to that station. Overall, he was a great leader and mentor to the whole department. He led by example. He really led by example. He made sure that he was top of his game and ready to go, and made sure that his firefighters below him were ready to go and at the top of their games. Perfect example of that, by leading by example, is an incident that Joel responded to in town. Was during a snowstorm. After going inside and treating this patient, he went outside and shoveled the walkways, shoveled the steps, put some sand and salt down. Just going above and beyond what is expected for a firefighter in town. He would stop anything that he was doing to help this community out, and I know this community is greatly appreciative, as we've seen by all the support we've seen this past week. Whether it was responding to emergencies or helping at the library with reading to kids during story time, or helping bringing books downstairs or upstairs, or assisting them in any way. That's just one example of the many things above and beyond being a firefighter that Joel was all about. Do we have anything else we want to add before we transition?
No, other than Joe is a true hero.
Yeah. Definitely going out as a hero. Definitely going out as a hero. And hopefully.
I'm all set.
I just want to also take this time to thank all of the communities and residents and just general public out there that has been extremely supportive of us in this past week. It's been nonstop coming in and out of this station. Our mutual aid partners, we've had departments from all over the place. We've even tapped into, last night I had a department here from Massachusetts. So we've had outrageous supportive members from all over the place, whether it's covering the station so that our residents have some assistance, or the staying with Joel up at the funeral home while we're going through this process. I also wouldn't be able to do what we're going to hopefully do on Sunday with the team that you're going to speak with next without their assistance. It's been a great support and a great help to have this team help us plan this memorial that we're going to do for Joel, and to show and have him go off the way he needs to go off as being a hero in this town. All right. Thank you. Good?
You want to say anything? Bruce, anything? What's that?
Said it all.
We're gonna transition over to the IMT team now, I think. I had a feeling you were gonna tell me that.
I said you can, you don't have to. You did that on purpose. See how he did that?
I did.
No thing? All right.
I've learned a lot from you guys in the last week, and
No thanks.
that's somebody that's
that's
being
recording?
recorded. Hopefully it's still being recorded.
Request to remove this one also.
So, good morning. My name is John Duros, Johndurross. I'm the fire chief in the city of Saco, and I'm also the president of the Maine Fire Chiefs Association. I'll take a couple of minutes to talk to you about the incident management team that was formed up the beginning on Friday evening, but really solidified on Saturday morning. It was a combination of the York County Emergency Management Association Incident Management Team, as well as the Seacoast, New Hampshire Incident Management Team. And our goal and focus was we established essentially several objectives. The first objective was to work through providing fire protection back to the town of Berwick for a short period of time. We were able to coordinate, as Travis spoke to earlier, mutual aid companies coming in to be sure that that the fire protection stayed in place for the town of Berwick. It was a combination of the mutual aid companies as well as the Berwick firefighters as they were prepared to come back to duty. We had a component that was taking care of the fire department and working with the firefighters that responded on the call. And both of those continue to be ongoing. There are several other incidental objectives. The primary objective that we have in front of us now is to create a fitting memorial service for Captain Barnes, and I'll ask Chief Benotti to speak to that.
So, my name is Steve Benotti, S-T-E-V-E-B-E-N-O-T-T-I. I am the fire chief for the city of Sanford, and I am working as the operations section chief for the memorial service arrangements. I also will be in charge of the motorcade, working with Sergeant Chris Farley from the state police. So this past week, we have had about a dozen Maine players, and I mean Maine as in component, not as in the state, come together to form this incident management team that's going to handle the service on Sunday. Countless hours have gone into the planning of this. We are very appreciative of the support, again, of not only Portland, South Portland, Old Orchard Beach, number of fire departments that have stepped up to help make this happen. But as the day goes on for Sunday, I'd like to speak about Sunday. So Sunday morning, as you know, there's a private service first thing in the morning for the family. The motorcade will then just make its way north, arriving at the South Portland Fire Station on Broadway at approximately no later than 10:15. We hope the weather cooperates with that. At that time, there will be a dignified transfer of Captain Barnes from the hearse to the fire truck, thing. Once that is completed, the motorcade will then continue across the bridge and make their way towards the Cross Insurance Arena on Spring Street. We hope to arrive by 10:30 at the top of the hill at High Street in Spring, at which time Captain Barnes and the entourage will be piped down the hill with bagpipes leading the truck and the procession to the arena. It's a long process. It's going to be, we expect a lot of people. As the process goes on, he will be taken off the truck by a ceremonial casket detail and brought into the building. We'll then, through crowd management system we have in place, we'll be moving people into the arena and filling every seat that is available, and we'll apologize up front for all those who may not make it into the arena thing. With any luck, we hope to start the program at 11 o'clock. We anticipate right now that the program will go a little over an hour, thing, and we do have one or two dignitaries that will be present, and throughout this process, we ask that, although we enjoy the relationship we have with the media to help get this story out about who Joel was and why we're here today, we also hope that you respect privacy when that's asked for. And so far, I think you've done a good job about that. So if we can continue that relationship, I think that works well. So after the service is over, the arena will be, we'll have everybody exit the arena and form up again on Spring Street, where a ceremonial removal of Captain Barnes will come out of the building. He will be placed back onto the fire truck, and then the motorcade will move on to Calvary Cemetery in South Portland, where a private burial will take place. So, be happy to answer any questions about Sunday's service or any details that I may not have covered that you'd like to know about. And don't tell me I did that good a job, because I...
Oh, no, that's perfect. It's time to go.
So, okay.
All right. Thank you all very much.
Okay.
Thank you.